But before I get into that, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nancy Flores, and I am the coordinator of the Wisconsin Network for Immigrant and Refugee Rights. So I want to tell you a little bit about why this coalition cares about driver's licenses and why we stand here today with, and the people that are part of the speaker lineup will be talking to you about that. But today, we believe that nobody should live in fear. And that's one of the primary reasons why the coalition has taken a stance on this issue. Nosotros, como la Red Estatal para los Derechos del Inmigrante y los Refugiados, pensamos que ninguna persona debe de vivir con miedo. Y el no tener licencia ocasiona que la gente tenga miedo. Y estamos aquí para decir, ya basta. Así que, without further ado, I would like to go into our first speaker. Así que quiero presentarles a nuestra primera oradora del día de hoy. Por favor, please help me welcome the first Latina to be elected into the State Assembly, the representative of the 8th District, State Representative Jocasta Samarripa.
Gracias, Nancy. Thank you so much. I'm State Representative Jocasta Samarripa, and thank you all for joining me this morning. I want to thank the organizations and community members who are here with me today, the members of the press who have come here to cover this. I especially want to thank a few organizations in particular for really taking the lead on this effort. Voces de la Frontera is well represented here. Members of Wisdom, everybody from Sophia to Micah to Rick to, I'm probably missing a couple, but thank you for Wisdom's work on this, and Southside Organizing Committee, SOC, on Milwaukee's near South Side in my district. Thank you so much for being here today. We gather here today to announce the introduction of a bill that would allow undocumented immigrants to obtain driver's cards in Wisconsin. Yes. This is not an immigration bill. This is a public safety bill. This is an economic development bill. I believe allowing undocumented immigrants to obtain a driver's card will benefit not just our growing Latino and immigrant communities, but all communities in the great state of Wisconsin. Driver's cards for undocumented immigrants will vastly increase public safety. Why? Because we'll know, and more importantly, law enforcement will know, who is driving on our roads. Individuals will be able to obtain a driver's card only after successfully learning the rules of the road, taking that driver's test, just like you and I did. I've spoken with insurance agents who have told me they believe wholeheartedly individuals will be more likely to purchase auto insurance if they have access to a license to drive. This means safer roads for all Wisconsinites. This means even more insured, educated drivers on our roads. And I want to note that I've worked hard to reach across the aisle in hopes of earning bipartisan support for this bill. As a Democrat in the minority in our state legislature, I know we must have support from the Republican majority if we ever want to see this bill become law in Wisconsin. I've met with Republican legislators, including leadership. I've listened to their input. I've answered their questions, and I've made revisions to the bill based on their input. To date, no Republican has been willing to sign on, but the bill is circulating. We just put it out for co-sponsorship today, and it'll be circulated in the Capitol for about 2 weeks. My hope is that a Republican will sign on and help Democrats pass this bill and allow undocumented immigrants to obtain a driver's card in Wisconsin. Thank you so much. I want to pass the mic now on to my colleague who's been taking the lead on this effort since way before I got into the legislature, Representative Josh Zepnick, also from Milwaukee South Side.
Well, thank you, Representative Samarripa. My name is Josh Zepnick. I represent the 9th Assembly District on Milwaukee South Side, and I'm the grandson of an immigrant who took the risk to come to America, learn how to speak English, and thanks to his courage and strength, I have the chance to now serve in public office in the area that I grew up in. And I've been working on this issue, as Representative Samarripa pointed out, for the last 12 years with the growing coalition. This is probably one of the biggest we've had. And, I really want to point out, Jocasta mentioned the faith-based groups and community organizers that have been really a driving force, no pun intended, for driver's licenses. And, this is a really basic common sense thing, and it is a public safety issue. When people come to America And we expect that you learn how to speak English, that you enroll in school or hold down a job, that you become a productive member of the community and follow rules. And of course, one of those, in a society which revolves completely around getting access to a car so you can go to work and take your kids to school and go to the doctor, go shopping, means having a valid driver's license and passing the test so that you know the rules of the road. Now, how can anybody argue with that? It will, in cities and states where this has been implemented, it is a win-win situation. Public safety improves. Law enforcement agencies have an easier time. The process to getting your documentation and becoming a citizen is sped up and is easier. You have insurance, so if there is a mistake or accident, people are covered instead of scrambling around or living in fear and having their lives disrupted. But just back to this faith-based thing, my little story for today before I move on to let other speakers talk, this is such great timing. Sunday, I'm sitting in my church pews at Emmanuel United Church of Christ in Hales Corners. And United Church of Christ is part of the sanctuary movement nationwide that works on issues surrounding immigration reform. And on the back of our bulletin was a little nice story about a man who's working hard down in Arizona, trying to send money to his 3 children to go to school in Honduras, and had a traffic stop and is now, because of their harsh laws, facing deportation. So our United Church of Christ affiliate in that state and city are working with this individual and his family to offer him some help. And his employer is holding his job open, which I think is a strong testament as to how much he's needed and wanted back at his place of employment. And it is largely through both my politics, but especially my Christian faith, that I continue to work on these kinds of issues, because along with public safety and common sense, to me it's a moral issue and a basic concept of human rights and equality for all. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Representative Sepnik. Now I would like to introduce our next speaker. His name is Jose Olvera, and he is a member of Voces de la Frontera, a father, and a longtime resident of Milwaukee. Ahora quiero presentarles al compañero José Olvera. Él es miembro de Voces de la Frontera, es padre y también ha vivido aquí en la ciudad de Milwaukee por muchos años. Y él nos va a comentar por qué él está aquí el día de hoy.
Bueno, mi nombre es José Olvera, como ya lo dijeron. Yo estoy aquí hablando a nombre de todas las personas que no tienen licencia. Por cuestión de la licencia que no se tiene, no podemos salir a trabajar, no podemos salir a pasear, no podemos salir en una emergencia de hospital por falta de licencia, temor a la policía que nos pare. Entonces, en este momento pues está dando la oportunidad de que nos puedan dar licencia, que pedimos mucho si nos hacen favor de ayudarnos a conseguir la licencia por todas estas cuestiones de que no podemos salir con confianza por temor a la policía.
I'll be translating just a recap of what he said. The reason why I'm here is because I'm here representing my community, the people that are in the shadows that cannot obtain a driver's license and live in fear when they do things such as drive to work, or need to drive their sick child to the hospital, or even want to take their kids out for something like ice cream. We can't do that. And we're here to say that we're asking for your support so that we are able to get a driver's license and live without fear of the police or without fear of doing something so basic like driving.
Le agradezco mucho todo esto, la ayuda también que me da Voces de la Frontera, que sin fines de lucro, y hay personas que estamos muy agradecidas y personas también que se les ha ayudado mucho y no han sabido agradecer, pero yo soy de las personas que tengo ya desde que se empezó Voces de la Frontera, y me da gusto ayudar con lo que yo puedo. No sé hablar inglés, pero creo que el inglés hay veces que no es necesario para dar una ayuda cuando se necesita. Muchas gracias.
I just want to say thank you to organizations that are here, and then also to Voces de la Frontera, of which I am a member and have been a member now since the beginning of the organization. And it's very encouraging to see that we are still in the struggle. And this is a first step. This is something that we hope that will bring us further in this particular struggle for driver's licenses. And I'm very grateful for these efforts and to walk alongside you. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce our next speaker and our last speaker. All will be available for interviews after we conclude the press conference. So last but definitely not least, Pastor Michelle Lopez de Pastor Michelle Townsend de Lopez. She is a pastor at Faith Lutheran Church, Cross Lutheran Church, and she is her church is a member of MICA, who is a member of an affiliate member of Wisdom. So we are very happy to welcome Pastor Michelle.
Thank you on behalf of Wisdom, MICA, and the larger faith community and Voces de la Frontera. I'm very pleased to be here today. Obviously, I do have a very close connection to the Latino community. I am married to a Latino, and so it is very dear to my heart that we do speak out on the injustices of the Latino community. We have no problems inviting Latino people to come here and to work, but we don't want to talk about how people get to work, and we don't want to talk about access to being able to have the basic dignities of being able to live and to work in our community. So I think this is a right step in the right direction, and I thank you for introducing this bill on behalf of our Latino brothers and sisters, so that they are able to take their children to school, be able to get to work, and be able to go to the hospital if emergencies arises, and not have to depend on public transportation or other people, because this just isn't right. It's a basic necessity, and it's a basic right that should be guaranteed to anyone who is a resident or a person working in our city. Yo soy la pastora de Cruz Iglesia en Milwaukee, y yo pienso es tiempo para la gente de la comunidad latino tener este derecho básico para manejar en esta ciudad. Nosotros dar una invitación para la comunidad latino trabajar en esta comunidad, pero muchas veces no quiere dar la invitación para tener los derechos básicos para manejar o trabajar en todas las áreas sin problemas con la policía o otras áreas del gobierno. Por eso yo pienso eso es un primera etapa en la dirección correcta para la comunidad y para nosotros, porque siempre nosotros es uno en la comunidad de Dios y como gente, como un pueblo de Milwaukee y de Dios. And I'm hoping that as we continue, we will be able to see that this is the first step in the right direction for immigration, because we have a long way to go, but this is a baby step, and I hope that we all realize that this is not a Republican or a Democratic situation, but a human situation that we need to adopt. Thank you very much.